everyone, it is Pineapple Dorothy here, and today's video, it's going to be me talking about my time when I was in the hospital in 2019 on February. It's basically at the end of February, but hold on, I have a journal here that I wrote in. I'm using this for the dates because I can't remember. February 18th, 2019. On a Monday, to be exact, on here. Or maybe it was, it was 18th. So, let's start from the beginning. And we're going to start from the beginning. And it starts off with, we were in Disney World, and we just actually got back from let me say something first. So this video isn't going to be talking about nothing about the COVID stuff or anything that is actually going on in this world now. The reason why I'm doing this video now and not late and not like closer to where I was, which is because I actually did talk about my time in the hospital, but it was very unorganized and I was on a cold and I talked very high pitched, I talked it was cringy to watch. I had to watch the whole video all over again for me to remember some of the stuff that I went through in the hospital. And man, I had a scratchy voice. I couldn't watch the whole thing. I was cringing the whole time. So, we're mainly, there's a little bit more specifics in that video, but we were mainly going to talk about the main things that I remember that got me into the hospital and what happened when I got out after I was already in for 2 weeks. I got out for 3 days, and then I went back into the hospital for another 2 weeks. And we're going to mainly talk about the main stuff that happened between the 4 weeks I was in the hospital. So, let's get started. So, it basically, major problems anyways, started in January of 2019, where we just got back from Disney World and noticed that my feet, for some reason, was puffy and really fat, more fat than normal, and fat. It just looked weird, and we're like, okay, what is this? So we looked it up online, trying to figure out what it was. And it said online maybe it's from walking around, walking around a lot may do that to your feet. So we just took it easy, watched over it. Someone's walking back there. Took easy, watched over it, see how it would do. And the swelling up, the fatness of the feet went down a little bit, but it never, at least from what I've noticed, never officially went away. And then it started seeping, liquid started coming out of it. It was really weird, you guys. And so it was probably, is it 18th here? Is it 18th? Is it 8? So it says February 18th was when I was officially in the hospital. But I think we were like, okay, we want to check this out and see what we can do about fixing your feet and stuff like that. And so we went in at night, probably on the 17th, and they said, okay, we would like it if you can stay overnight to see, we'd run some tests to see what we can do about your feet and stuff like that. And I stayed in the hospital overnight. And they did more tests and more tests on me. And then did a lot of tests and then saw that I had a lot of problems with my body. There's a lot of problems, not just my feet, but my actual body, my tummy. At the time, I wasn't able to eat. I couldn't eat anything. I could barely keep anything down my throat because I was very skinny and very unhealthy. I was extremely skinny, You look at me now and like, how are you really skinny? Trust me, I was skinny. Trust me. You can probably see it in my older videos. Specifically the one where I posted a video of me and my brother eating Japanese candy. That was exactly a month before I went into the hospital, which is pretty crazy. You can look how skinny I was. So, anyways, I got into the hospital, found out there was way more wrong with me, and a few years ago, now when I was in the hospital, I didn't find out there that I had this certain type of disease called disease called Crohn's disease. No, I think I found that out probably in 2015, and we've tried to help me out doing like natural way, like eating right, doing natural medicines and stuff like that. But it just, and then it would go good, and then and it like, but anyways, the worst of it was when I went into the hospital, basically, and they did tests and was like, oh, your Crohn's is very bad, so we would like you to stay in the hospital for a while. It ended up being 2 weeks I was in the hospital. So I don't remember exactly what happened in the 2 weeks I was first in the hospital, but I will say main stuff that I did go through. I would have scopes, and I would have this thing called a dilation. I can't really explain a dilation pretty good. I don't think I can. So you will have to look up the word dilation and see what this does to my body. And yeah, I would get that. And in a dilation, it would barely go very good. I mean, it didn't go good at all. And so they tried to have like a few dilations to help me get better. It's hard to tell you not the specific, because the specific is gross. You just have to look up what a dilation is and you'll get it. But basically I was really unhealthy, and dilations barely worked good on me. And so I was in the hospital, first dilation, they found out how my body was really doing, which was not good. And then people walking. And then they would do like other dilations and stuff like that, and it would get a little bit better, or it would go really bad. I don't really remember, but basically I slowly got a little bit more better with the dilations and the scopes, or probably mostly dilations. I don't remember. I think I had like one a week. I don't remember. But I was basically in for the hospital for 2 weeks. Stuff happened. I can't remember what they were. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. So, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. We've helped my feet. I don't remember why it was acting like that. I'm not a doctor, so I don't remember these things that very well. I probably should, but I just simply don't remember, you guys, and I apologize for that. So let's just simply get on to the story. Slowly, my feet did get better and better throughout the time I was in the hospital, which is good. It did slowly get better with like the medications that I took and all that type of stuff. And so it was 2 weeks later. Oh, yes, okay. So the first week I was in the hospital, I was only allowed to eat a clear liquid diet, which is basically only broths, like chicken broth, beef broth, juices, even soda. They said I can drink soda, which was kind of pretty cool. But I was only able to drink broths throughout the whole week I was in the hospital for the first week. Then it got to the end of the week, and they're like, okay, you're doing really good. The medicine is helping you out pretty good. Like IV medicine, and I had something called a PICC line, which I will show you right now. A PICC line is basically a really big IV that goes into your arm, and it goes right into your like bloodstream, all in this area. And I had to have 2 because I was in the hospital 2 times. And I'll get on to that story of why I went back into the hospital a second time when I got out. But this is a PICC line. It's this is extremely long. It's like very long. It's like, I don't know how long this is. It's just really long. It's really long. See, you know how, I don't know if you've seen IVs, but you may be able to recognize that top from just normal IVs. It's dark. Can you see that better? Yeah. And it's just this big yellow tube. Yellow? This isn't yellow, it's purple. But medicine would go in here, and also I would get nutrients and proteins and all my, like, healthy stuff would go into this and then into my body, like this. So, yeah, this is what a PICC line is, and that's how I got medicines and medication when I was in the hospital. And of course, I also had normal ordinary IVs. So that's right. And then I was doing better with the nutrition and all that. Nutrition's going into my body. I'm getting my protein, getting my medicines, getting a little bit more healthier. Still have to keep track, stay healthy, but I was doing pretty good for the 2 weeks. So, and I was being okay with eating softer foods the second week, which was mashed potatoes and like goldfish crackers and animal crackers, because you chew it up really soft and it digests easily. That's basically what they were wanting me to do, is to eat food that would digest very easily. And so that's what they did. I was getting more better and better with eating and stuff. I was gaining weight, which was good because I was extremely skinny. But yeah, it was really good. I was getting healthy. I was getting pretty healthy. Still some problems. Still problems because Crohn's is not easy to figure out a way with it. Or I think you get what I mean. Just look up Crohn's disease. You can look up a bunch of stuff about that. Look YouTube videos, read about it. I'm pretty sure you can find a lot of stuff about it. And so I was doing pretty good at the end of the second week, to where they said, okay, I think you're very good, so you can check you out of the hospital. And I was checked out of the hospital, which was really, really fun. I was very happy to be. I was pretty happy to be out of the hospital. And so I got out of the hospital, and the time that I got out of the hospital was, I think, March 6th. I got out of the hospital March 6th. Because I know this because it says on my journal, goodbye hospital, at the very end of the paragraph that I wrote down. So yeah. And on the March 7th, I was home. March 8th, I was home. March 9th, I was home. And then March 10th, I had to go back into the hospital. And that's because from March 7th to March 9th, I was having some problems. Like, it would be up and down, like, okay and not okay. Like, trying to figure out what to do. Eat good, and it'll help this. Or it was going up and down pretty much. And on Sunday of March 10th, I started getting pain in my stomach. It was apparently really bad. I said in my old video that I made that the pain scale was at like a 9, and now that I know what pain is, it was not at a 9. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but it did hurt to where I had to go back into the hospital. And they were like, okay, you have a lot of gas pretty much inside of your tummy. Like, it had some, like, you bloated up or gas, like, unhealthy stuff. And so the only way they could get it out of my system, most of it out of my system, was the NG tube. An NG tube is this big, thick. Okay, well, I can't do it perkle. Probably I can't make a perfect circle with my fingers. It just doesn't do it. But it's a tube, and it's really long, and it goes into your nose and into your stomach. That was not fun to have in my nose or in the body. And something that made it, and it hurt me when it went in, because, well, it's uncomfortable to go in. It's very uncomfortable. It's not fun. I didn't have a fun day. No, that was not a fun day. And also, the worst thing about it, because of the bloating in my stomach and because of the NG tube down my nose, I couldn't eat at all throughout the whole next 2 weeks I was in the hospital. And that sucked. That sucked. That was not fun. That was not fun. I mean, going 2 weeks not being able to eat anything was... I wasn't happy about that. I tried staying positive. I had coloring books. I had stuff to... Though at the time, before COVID happened, there was stuff to do in the hospital. There was, you can go to, the playroom and do some arts and crafts. I mean, there was stuff to do. People would come visit you. My friends and family obviously came and visited me in the hospital, which I'm very grateful for. I got a lot of, here. This probably isn't... Oh, God. I can't even carry it all. I have a bunch of cards that were sent to me. These are all... Oh, they're all dusty. Oopsies. Sorry. These are all dusty. I'm sorry, you guys. These are all cards that I got when I was in the hospital. From friends, from my aunt, my grandma and grandpa. I mean, I'm just very grateful I was able to get a lot of this stuff in the hospital, because I know that a lot of people sadly don't probably get that much stuff, which my heart is to them, and especially right now with COVID, with no one being able to come and visit people in the hospital, or even you if you're watching this. I don't know if you are, but who knows. But yeah, I had to be back in the hospital. I got another thing put in, because also, I forgot to say this, I'm sorry. When I went out of the hospital, they took this guy out, and then I got back into the hospital, so they had to put another one in. So I would have this in my arm for actually, I would have it in for 1 week, and then they would have to change this knob thingy. They would have to change something to where it would still be clean or something. It's hard to explain. Just look up a PICC line and you'll see a lot of cool stuff about it. I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked it up actually. But yeah, I would have the PICC line in my arm for the second time, getting nutrients. Literally 24 hours I would get nutrients proteins and just all that stuff that makes you healthy. And also I couldn't eat, so that was not fun. So for the 3rd week, I was there, not eating, but still stayed positive, still walked around the hospital. Yeah, and I think, I can't remember exactly if it was the 3rd week or the 4th week. I think it's the 4th week I was in the hospital, to where I had a dilation or scope, I can't remember which one, and it went completely wrong to where I had to go straight into surgery. And I went straight into surgery and got 4 inches of my intestines removed out of my body. And because of that, you know how a normal person goes to the restroom. Well, because I got 4 inches taken out of my body, I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. And I ended up with something called a ileostomy, or ileostomy. I can't say it. It's hard. I think I got ileostomy. Or it's easier for me to say ostomy bag. And it's pretty much, they take out 4 inches of my intestines, and because of that, a piece of my intestines sticks out of my stomach. If I'm getting this right, I hope I am. Just look up ileostomy, and you'll look up some cool things about it. But it pretty much sticks out of your stomach with a medical bag thingy. I don't know what you call it. It's a bag. It's a bag that catches the waste into the bag, and it has a clip that keeps it in there and secure. And when you go to the restroom, you usually empty it out and clean it, and then put it back on. And then you clean it, you empty it, and then into the toilet and stuff, and then clean it, and then put the clip thingy back on. Just look up ileostomy, and you'll see a lot about it. And I got that. So that's how I have been since I was in the hospital on March 21st. That's how I have been going to the restroom ever since then. For I think I celebrated 1 year of having a temporary bag. This is temporary. The bag that I have right now is temporary. And I think I've had it for March. For 4 months. It's been. So I've had it for a year and 4 months so far. So this bag is temporary though. I could in the future get 2 different kinds of surgeries. I could get one surgery to where I get reconnected, and the piece of intestines that sticks out of my tummy, they would have surgery, put it back into my stomach, and attach it to the little bit of intestines that I have left that was let's say this is an intestines. This is a bad example. They took out this much, and this sticked out of my stomach, and if I were to have surgery again, they would have this go back into the stomach, and they would take this piece of the intestines and combine it together into one intestines, and I would basically be able to go to the restroom normally again. And so there's that surgery, or there's a surgery to where I can get my complete colon completely removed, and I would be ended up with my bag for I'm pointing because this is where it is. It's on my bottom right stomach. I would have this bag for the rest of my life, which for some, you know how you have these feelings where you're like, I feel like something's gonna happen, and then it does happen, you know what I mean? I don't know why I have that feeling, but I do have that feeling that may happen to me. I'll let you guys know on YouTube if that does happen to me or not. But, I mean, maybe it's good I'm thinking like that because it prepares me mentally and physically, prepares me, and I learn how to live with my bag and to figure out what to do if there's a problem and to fix it and just all that stuff. You can look up just look up ileostomy. You probably learn a lot about it. Specifically, go to Ostomy Diaries and Hannah Witten's channel. Those are good channels to go to. It's Hannah Witten that I found right when I came out of the hospital. I was looking at videos on YouTube about ileostomy, and I clicked on one of her videos. And immediately I was like, well, she's living her life even with a bag, and it's because of her that I felt more comfortable with my bag. And so yeah, that's the whole thing about my ileostomy. Now, I didn't mention that in my old video because I thought I should keep it to myself, but I was like, you know what, I don't care if a lot of people know about it, just as long as they're nice and respectful about it, and that's pretty good. So yeah, we're gonna be done talking about my bag, and let's get on to recovery from surgery. So the day of the surgery, I was not happy. I was in a lot of pain because I have stitches on my stomach from getting the 4 inches of my I get them both confused, I'm sorry. My intestines, my big intestines, I think it is, taken out. And if you want to, here, I'll show you how long the scar is. So I have a scar that is as big as my finger. So the scar was like this, which may think that is not a big scar. And no, it is not, but it felt like someone was taking the skin from the inside and pulling it in very tight. And it felt like it, which it probably was, because it was stitches all on my stomach, and it didn't hurt. It hurt. It was probably, if I were to rate that, that would be a real 10, because I was not happy. No, that was not a happy day. So let's talk about recovery now. So because you need to recover good and you need to get back onto walking, they had me first walk on the day of surgery. And so the day of surgery, I walked from my hospital bed to the bathroom, which is like 10 feet. And I was very slow. I walked extremely slow over there. I did. But my second walk, which I remember this, it was at night. And before I explain the second walk of that day, I'm going to tell you a little thing. So, to kind of like give yourself little awards for each walk you do, because I was in a children's hospital, they gave me this piece of paper that had like, it was like drawn on squares on it, and you would put a sticker in between the squares for each walk you took. And so I took one walk to the restroom, so that's one sticker on the piece of paper. And so now let's get on to my second walk, which is a pretty incredible walk, especially the first day of surgery. I wonder if I have, yes I do. So, ignore this bad drawing of the hospital room, but let's pretend that right here is where my room is, and right here, here, and here is a whole lap around the floor of the hospital that I was in. So I can't believe I did this. This is the day of surgery, so remember that, you guys. I walked out of my room, and I walked down here, and I went to here, and my dad said, you know, if you walked this way, and this way, and this way, which is, if you walked the rest of the way, Dorothy, I would give you 2 stickers for that piece of paper. And you may be thinking, that's kind of a weird thing to motivate me to go the full lap. But if you couldn't tell by my stickers collection on my door and all the posters I have in my room, you can tell I love decoration, and I love stickers, and I love decorating my room. And so I was like, 2 stickers, count me in. So I walked this way, very slowly, the day of surgery, remember this. I walked this way, and this way, and back into my room. I was very tired after it, but I did a full lap of the second walk I did of the day of my surgery. So that was pretty something. I mean, that was something. So, yeah. And then the next day, I walked even better. I think I did 3 walks that day, maybe even 4 that day. Walking very slowly, of course. Then, I think I did 3 walks that day, and then the next day I did 4 walks, and then I was walking faster, getting better and better with the pain medication I was been given for the surgery that I just went through, and I was getting better and better. So, yeah, that's that. And I also forgot to say that there was something I was allowed to eat with the NG tube down my nose. I forgot to mention this. I'm sorry about that. I ate hard candies, ice chips, which is pretty much like ice cubes, which ice chips sounds like a cuter name, I think personally, and gum. And that's because you would chew up the gum, and the juice from the gum would go into your system and go into your stomach, but then the NG tube would just pull it right back of your nose. And also, I forgot to say, with the NG tube that was down my nose, there's this part of the tube, it was connected to this other tube that would pull out the bloatedness of my stomach. Sorry I forgot to mention that. But yeah, let's get back to where I was getting better at walking faster, getting better and better, until probably like the 4th, maybe 5th day, don't remember. I was doing really good at walking and stuff like that. And I also remember, I don't remember this, I had to watch the other video that reminded me of this. So I would have the pain medication go into my IV to help with the stitches on my stomach. And I guess for some reason, of like the 3rd or 4th day, the medication would give me a horrible headache, so horrible that I asked, could we switch to another medication? And they did, and that helped me good. So I forgot to mention that. No, I didn't. I mentioned it now, and then it's all mentioned. So that's good. Now, let's get to the point where I was doing really good at walking and really good at recovering from surgery, to where probably on 4th or 5th day, they're like, okay, how about we take out the NG tube? NG tube? Yes. Yes, they take out the NG tube, the tube that was in my nose. They take it out and wait for a few hours, and then later on that day, I can finally eat some food. And when I went like that, I mean I could drink some broth to finally be able to eat something. And I did. The nurses took out the NG tube, waited a few hours, and by waited, I actually slept because I was tired. I slept throughout that time, woke up, was able to eat my first meal of the time for like 2 weeks. I went with no food at all. And so I asked, because when I was in the hospital, they have this certain brand there. I forgot what the brand is called, but the brand that has the beef broth, the bouillon cubes for the beef broth, tasted really good, and I was missing it a bunch. So I was like, okay, first thing I want to drink is the beef broth. So I drank the beef broth, and you wait a long time, or like for example, fasting. When you fast, you don't eat anything, and then suddenly you eat something, and because of that, you have to eat that thing or drink that thing very slowly, otherwise you're going to get sick. Well, I did drink my broth slowly, but not slow enough, and I drank it way too fast, apparently. And that night, like 2 hours later, I threw it all back up again. Which not just sucked because I threw up, but because I have stitches on my tummy. And what happens to your tummy when you throw up? Your tummy moves. You have stitches from surgery move. When your tummy's moving, it was extremely painful. And I hated it. I mean, I was not happy. I was very unhappy. So, next day they were like, okay, how about what we're going to do for the next day to help your tummy get used to drinking and eating again was I drank this, like, vitamin juice thingy. I forgot it was called. And I would drink, like, 4 ounces of it, I think. I would only drink a little bit of a time and then wait a few hours and drink slowly a little bit more, then wait a few hours, then drink more, then wait, and then drink more. To the point where I was able to drink the full thing of juice, and I didn't throw up. So I was happy about that. And then the next day, I could officially, finally, eat again. And I remember exactly what I ate. I ate Sorry, I had to burp. You didn't hear it. It's okay. I ate, God darn it, what did I eat? What did I eat? Oh, yes. Cream of wheat with a white bagel with some butter, or peanut butter it was, and some applesauce, and with juice. And that's what I ate and drank because I had juice to drink. And I ate that for breakfast and didn't throw up, so that was really good. And it was so good that I was recovering very good that I was able to go out of the hospital that same day. And I was officially out of the hospital. And yeah, that was really great that I was finally out of the hospital. And yeah, I was finally out of the hospital. And that was great. So let's talk about the diet that I was put on when I got out of the hospital. Now, I forgot to mention this. We're going to pretend this is the first 2 weeks I was in the hospital, and this was the second time I was back in the hospital. And this gap between was the 3 or 4 days I was out of the hospital. So I went into the hospital for 2 weeks, done, was out of the hospital this whole time. And when I got out of the hospital the first time, my diet was a low-carb diet, which is kind of hard to explain, but because you have Crohn's and you want stuff to digest good in your body, I ate white breads, white rice, soft foods, chicken, chew up your food, cook your carrots and vegetables that you eat. Like, cook them. Absolutely cook them. And that was the diet that I was on before I went back into the hospital. And then I was in the hospital for another 2 weeks. And then, of course, I went out. And that was the same diet I was put on when I went out of the hospital. And I've been pretty good since then. And a lot of stuff has happened, obviously, from a year and 4 months, I think it has been, since I was in the hospital. A lot of stuff has happened. I've switched from some medications to other medications because the last medication didn't work, but this one is working, but then this one didn't work for a while, so they added another medication onto that. But yeah, I'll talk about that very shortly because this video is going really long. So the medication that I was on when I got out of the hospital was a medication called Remicade. And it's an IV medication that goes through an IV into your body for like 2 hours. Because it's a big bag, I guess it was. And it would go into my IV for 2 hours. And I had that medication for a while. But I started having problems again, and my body wasn't adjusting to that medication. So they switched me onto Entyvio, and that is the medication I have been taking since, I think, July of last year. I've been taking that medicine. Except, now, at the time, Entyvio wasn't working good for me. And they're like, okay, do we switch you to another medication, or do we add another medication along with Entyvio to help your body? And that's what they did. And I take along with my Entyvio this. I don't know if I'm supposed to show the full box, but I'll mainly show you this. I don't know if I'm supposed to you can't really see it that well because it's blurry anyway, but I take this, and it's called Rasuvo, and it's a shot that I take myself. So yeah, I'll show you what the shot looks like. This video is going to be 40 minutes long, but this video is way more organized than my old videos. My old video that I made, and I'm not on a cold, and I don't sound with my voice being scratchy. So I'll show you what you do. I have alcohol swipes in this box. This is what the box looks like. It's got 4 of the shots in it. You take an alcohol swipe, you take out the wipe of it, take your leg and rub it on the thigh of your leg to clean the area. Then you throw away the wipe or put it into a bag where you put it in. And then You let that dry for a little bit. Then, I'm not going to do it now. I'm just doing that because that's something you need to do with this. But this is the shot. You take this thing out. Then you take your skin, pinch it, push it down, push this button, wait for like 10 seconds while the shot and the medicine that is in here injects out into your skin and under your skin, and it's fully into your body, and wait 10 seconds for it to completely go out. I count a little bit more because sometimes not all of it goes in, but yeah, you after you're done counting, take it out. If there's a little bit of blood, I have a Band-Aid here, just put it on top of it, and I'm done. And that's how I inject this little sucker thingy. So yeah, you see that yellow in there? Yeah. The reason why I was doing this is because that yellow stuff has to be on the bottom, and there has to be a little bit of air on the top of it. The air has to be on the top and not on the bottom. So that's why I was going like that, because sometimes if it is rolled around and kind of crazy, you just hit it a little bit, shake it, get it down, and it's all good. Of course, I'm not going to take the shot now because I don't need it. I take this shot once a week, which is on a Wednesday to be exact. And yeah, that's basically what I take. I also forgot, I drink this. It's pretty much like formula. Actually, it's called Neocate, and it's just powder. You take 7 scoops, put it into a cup that is filled up halfway of water. You put 7 scoops, stir it, and then drink it. And that's another medicine that I take. And that's been helping me a lot, to where the scopes and the dilations that I still have, even though I'm not in the hospital, have been going extremely good. So well, in fact, that my last one, which was done on Monday, went extremely well. It went so well. Look up dilation, because you'll understand the next thing I'm about to say. They were able to do so good that it opened up 12 inches, or 12, yeah, I think it was 12 inches. No, I can't remember. It opened up the area good, and if you look up dilations, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But a dilation pretty much opens up the area to where you can actually go to the restroom like a normal human. And if that goes very good and stuff like that, I could get a surgery in the future, get a reverse surgery to be able for me to go to the restroom like a normal person. Or if it goes wrong, I would have to get the surgery of me with my bag for the rest of my life, basically. So yeah, that is my story of my time in the hospital from February 18th to I can't remember the day when I got out. Hello? Ma?
I know you're making a video. Hello?
Hi.
I need your help in a few minutes, sweetheart.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, wait, I was confused. I'm so sorry. I'm looking for when I got out. It was somewhere in March, basically. Okay. I am so sorry. I'm making this video longer by doing this. I apologize. March 29th was the day I got out of surgery. Out of surgery, out of the hospital. So, basically, from February 18th to March 19th, I was basically in there for like 4 weeks or maybe even a month. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, that's my story. My very complicated story that took way too long of this video to record, but at least this video is more organized than my last one. And also, I did record me talking about my story, But the video ended up being 50 minutes long, which this video is almost basically at 50 minutes, so I'd better end it here. But this one was more organized, more explained. I explained things way better than I ever did in any of the videos that I tried recording before. So I'm going to end it here because this video has been way too long. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you understand most of my story. I hope my little clothespins and examples I've showed you on explaining things has helped out for you to understand it. Please like this video if you liked it. Share it to other people that you know that may have been in the hospital or even have Crohn's or even have something called a ileostomy. But yeah, just share it if you want to. Share it to your friends or whatever. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say. And also, like and subscribe if you think my videos are fun enough to watch. Push the bell notifications so you know when I upload another video. And yeah, that's basically this video. So, bye-bye. Peace out. See you in the next video. And I'm going to end by showing you my new pineapple hat. This is kind of a pineapple hat. It's a bubblegum hat from the restaurant. My grandma and grandpa got this for me. It's got all these, like, drinks on it with pineapples. But my grandma thought that the pineapples were cool, and she was right. I love me a good pineapple. And that's the pineapple on it. That's the hat. I'm going to end it by slapping this against my phone and end the video. So, bye-bye. I hope that didn't hurt the phone.